All right, good morning. How's everybody doing? Made it to the end. This is my diehards. Thank you for being here. The final session of the HR Technology Conference. Big shout out to my friends way down there. I like that group way in the side. Make some eye contact with you. How are you? Good group. I'm really excited about this session, the Ideas and Innovators session. Can I have the next slide, please? The Ideas and Innovators session is a concept that we didn't invent it. We started doing it at our Health and Benefits Leadership Conference a couple of times, where thought leaders, industry experts, just really smart people provide their insights and expertise or crazy, wild, innovative, challenging ideas on all things HR, technology, work, the workplace, leadership, and more. And maybe some other things even we're not expecting to hear at HR Technology Conference, but it'll just make you think. We've got a great lineup of speakers today who've waited patiently while we've worked through some stressful rehearsal time in the last hour or so. And just a couple of notes on what you'll see and how it works. We're using the Ignite format. It's a well-known speaking format. Anybody seen Ignite talks before in that format? Just the people who worked on these decks, it looks like. Well, good. So you're in for a treat. The Ignite format is a fast-paced, rapid-moving, rapidly changing format, but it's a very strict format. Each presenter has 20 slides. The slides will auto-advance every 15 seconds, resulting in a total talk time of 5 minutes. So each speaker's only talking for 5 minutes. I've done Ignite a couple of times myself. I will say this, from an audience perspective, it's great because it's fast-moving, it's changing. If one topic doesn't quite grab you, and 5 minutes later there'll be a different speaker and a different topic, which is cool. It's awesome. From a speaker's perspective, it's quite possibly the longest 5 minutes of your life. So many thanks to my speakers for doing this. It's a bit of a risk as a speaker. It's a bit of a challenge. And I think the nature of it being a challenge is why this group of people stepped up and were willing to do it this year. So many thanks to them. One other quick technical note, and I'm saying this on behalf of the speakers. We learned a lesson today about consolidating multiple PowerPoint decks and Keynote decks into one old laptop that didn't have a lot of custom fonts on it or wasn't quite prepared for all the really cool and elaborate things many of our speakers did. We did our best in the last hour to try to fix everything. You may see a slide or two that doesn't look perfect. The reason it doesn't look perfect is not your speaker's fault. I was going to say it's my fault, but I really don't want to take the blame for it. But all right, we'll say it's my fault and possibly Ed Chase's fault. One of our faults. All right, I think that's it for this. Let's switch the display to my deck up here if we could. All right, so I'm going to bring up the speakers one at a time. When they give me the high sign, I will kick it to their first slide, and then the countdown clock will begin. If the countdown clock somehow doesn't work, and we unfortunately didn't have a time to test every slide, I have the clicker, speakers, and if I need to, I will click. All right, here we go. Okay, next up, a very good friend of mine, Jason Lauritsen, Director, Best Places to Work at the Quantum Workplace, and a super guy. Jason, welcome.
Thanks, Steve. Good morning, everybody. All right, Steve.
You ready?
Let's do this.
Let's go.
All right, I am proud of us. And by us, I mean all of us, because I believe, I've seen in the last couple of years, a willingness on our part in HR to start calling BS on some of our traditional, old-school HR practices. For example, we can look backwards and say, most of our exit interview data is junk. We can say performance appraisals don't actually impact performance most of the time. We're even getting honest about the fact that human beings aren't very good at assessing other human beings. I'm here to add one more thing to the BS list, and that is that employee feedback tools need to be anonymous. As if anonymity has such a great track record. I present you online comments and Ashley Madison as proof of the behavior that it promotes. Now I know what you're going to say. Our feedback tool has to be anonymous because our employees are fearful of the backlash that might come from managers if they're honest. Really? And you're okay with that? How about instead of making our survey anonymous, we go out and do some investigation to find out what our managers are doing to make their employees so afraid of them? Just saying. A few years ago, I was put through an anonymous 360 assessment process as part of my development plan. I still remember vividly the outcome of that. I was given what I still affectionately refer to as my "you suck" list. Now, it was full of all sorts of helpful ways that I could suck less. At least that's how it felt. I ended up angry, confused, a little bitter, certainly defensive, right? That's not a great combination of emotions to put feedback to positive use. Later, I got some non-anonymous context about that feedback from the people that actually gave it to me. That ended up being what helped me turn it into something positive. Once anonymity was out of the way, we made progress. And I think anonymity almost feels out of style today, doesn't it? We expect our leaders to have candor and to be transparent, particularly about the important stuff. And yet when we go and ask our employees for really important feedback about their work experience, totally different standards. Add on top of that oversharing is the new sharing. We will put our name and our face to all sorts of ridiculousness online, but yet when it comes to important stuff, we think employees can't hack it or won't do the same. So what I'd like to do today is dream a little bit with you. What if HR let go of anonymity? What if we took anonymity, for example, out of our employee survey process? Well, first of all, we'd get a lot more accountability. Number one, as an employee, I'd have to stand behind my responses. Right? No more random, angry accusations hurled without evidence and no ability for follow-up. And as a manager, if my employees don't provide feedback or complete the survey because they're fearful of backlash, that's not a survey problem. That is a leadership problem. Deal with it. Fix that. Right? And maybe even our disgruntled employees would put down their flamethrower long enough to provide some constructive feedback. There's research that suggests that anonymity online promotes incivility. The truth is, when our name and our words are connected together, we behave better. Taking that a step further, if I know my feedback's going to be attributed to me, I might be a bit more thoughtful about it. I might ask myself, does this really matter? Is it really worth it? And the quality of the feedback probably improves. Now, most of us do surveys, I would guess, because we want to take action to make things better. So if an employee is filling out a survey and they are disengaged today, why wouldn't I want to take action with that employee to fix that now? Anonymity prevents that. But let's address the elephant in the room. Right? We've all become convinced that if we don't have anonymity in our survey process, employees won't tell us the truth. They can't be honest. Research also suggests that is not true as well. One interesting study compared non-anonymous and anonymous survey from university students about their courses and their instructors. They found no meaningful difference between the quality of the feedback. What they did find was that the non-anonymous feedback actually provided more detail and was more broad. So the value of the feedback actually got better when anonymity was taken out of it. So the thought I'd like to leave with you today is that in a world that's yearning for greater transparency, I think it's time for us to abandon anonymity in HR. I'll even put my name to that. Thank you.
I'd like to give you some non-anonymous feedback right now. That was fantastic.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Steve.
thank you very much. That was great. Killer, Jason. Awesome. Couple quick things for me. First off, thank you to our 9 speakers. I feel like now we're in the club. We have 9 new best friends. HR Tech Ignite veterans, Ideas and Innovators veterans. Huge round of applause for our speakers again today. I had thought, wrapping up the conference, I would have said going in that the hackathon, the HR Tech hackathon we did yesterday, that was my favorite session of the conference. Now it's my second favorite. This was my highlight of the conference for me personally. So thank you so much. I just want to say a couple quick things. First of all, thank you to all our attendees for being here. Now, obviously, this conference is for you. We hope you had a great experience. We hope, of course, to see all of you back next year in Chicago for a change, and I think that's going to be exciting and fun. So hope to see many of you again next year in Chicago. Second, I want to thank conference co-chair Dave Shadovitz. I want to thank the team that puts on this show and executes the show, Ed Chase, Vicki Dennehy, Craig Lutman, and the whole team. I can't name them all. They do a great job for you, for our attendees, for our exhibitors, and for our speakers. So many thanks to the team at LRP for another great job. I had a great experience here again this year. I hope you did too. Please let us know what you think. Please fill out your feedback forms. We want to get better. We want to make this conference relevant for you and help you and your organization succeed. So with that, I say thank you, and I'm officially closing the 18th HR Technology Conference. We will see you next year in Chicago. Thank you.